Welcome to today's edition of DriveTime with David and Dave. Often irreverent, sometimes informative, and occasionally brilliant, Morningstar's finest tackle the comedic questions of the day, which no one else even dares to ask. David Vallier and Dave Yarnes come to you each week from their studio in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Now, if you've missed a portion of today's broadcast or would like to recommend it to a friend, you can hear this program at any time on the DriveTime with David and Dave host page at talknetworkradio.com. Well, now here are David and Dave with today's show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This is David Vallier.
And Dave Yarnes.
And this is David and Dave. And we are just happy to be here.
At Drive Time with David and Dave.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Apparently, if you're just sitting at home,
you can't listen.
You can't listen. You
Yeah,
got to get in your car. But it doesn't specify like what you can drive. You could do like a tractor, or you could, like
even a bicycle. It doesn't matter.
No, I don't think I think you ride a bicycle.
Well, technically, but I mean, you're on wheels.
All right,
you're on
so
wheels.
We're going to give you a pass if you want to get on a bicycle, but we're excited about this. And really, people have been writing and letting us know. Like, I had somebody come up to me the other day. I thought they were mad. They're like, really? I want to talk to you about this drive. I'm like, oh gosh, And they said, that's hilarious. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little bit. Today, I had a topic that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't know that this existed.
Okay. But
I think it could be important to us. And first of all, let me say that we're not trying to offend anybody. We probably will. Right. We're equal opportunities offenders. Views and opinions expressed, blah, blah, blah. Void in Utah. And all of those disclaimers. There are patron saints of certain things. So, for instance, I imagine how this came about is like, as a holy man or woman of God, you got a special, expertise somehow.
Yeah.
And then you just get kind of known for that. Like maybe you could be like the patron saint of hip hop.
Yeah, I could.
Or something like that. You could be. So I just had a few, but I thought we'd go through them.
Let's do it.
Because I thought that was interesting, and I think it's important that we, this is where you find out this information. Where else are you going to go?
Nowhere.
So, Saint Adrian of Nicodemia is the patron saint of arms dealers. What?
How do you become the patron saint of arms dealers?
Apparently, possibly maybe you needed to fund a war, you need to get certain things in to protect, but somebody's got to do it. So
wow.
This is a great one. Saint Clotilde is the patron saint of disappointing children. So if you have children that are just curmudgeons, apparently this guy, or I imagine it's a guy, could be a woman, had a specialty.
Wow.
What do you think?
It's like when your kids mess up, you're like, I'm going to go all clottle on you, or however you say the name. Don't make me clottle on you right now. Wow. I mean, so what do you have to do to really become do you really have to work for this? One day I want to be known for disappointing children. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Now, speaking of which, you just had a new baby, which is not disappointing. Wonderful.
Yep.
So tell us, what's the experience like having a new baby?
Oh man, it's awesome. He's so chill. I mean, if you know my other one, he is wild. Now, this one's only about 10 days old, but already he is so much more chill than my other one was at that age. He literally just eats and sleeps. And it's really nice. He gets up to eat and then he's immediately passed out, and he's a big snuggler. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
Gosh,
but hopefully I don't go all, Claudio. I don't want Claudio that one because he's so cute. I don't want to disappoint him. So I'm going to try to be anti that patron saint. Yeah.
Let's just keep going on because I think this is where you get this information here.
Right.
You're going to need this. Saint Eligius is the patron saint of gas station workers. He was the patron saint of metal smithing and horses, but then came cars, and so there you have it.
So what in the world? So someone's pumping your gas, and do you kind of nod at them and say,
well, yeah, so maybe you're in a well, here's the thing. You're a gas station worker off I-95, Paramus, New Jersey, and you work from midnight till 7 in the morning. You better have a patron saint looking over your.
That is so true.
You gotta
do the sign of the cross and just be like, protect me.
I think it is. So, but and I like how it evolved. Metalsmithing and horses.
Yeah.
Because you'd be out of business if you didn't evolve. Right.
That is so true.
You wouldn't have a lot of that.
Right.
Here's just a straightforward one. Hubert of Liege, Saint Hubert of Liege. Now, I just want to say these guys were probably like really cool, holy people.
Right.
And, so I don't want to disrespect them. I mean, because we'll meet these guys in heaven. They're going to be like, hey, what about that David and Dave show?
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to be like, tell me about this whole patronage thing.
But we're just passing this information on to you because you may need this one. St. Hubert of Liege, rabies. So if you... he must have had a next level bout of getting rid of rabies.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he got bit a bunch of times.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I mean, who sits down and says, this is it. This is what I want to be. I'm going to go after this.
I'm going to go after rabies.
Yeah.
Because you want to specialize in the saint business.
Right.
You don't want to be just a broad spectrum.
Right. You're like, I'm going to somehow get this to the top. I'm going to get it to the Pope. He's going to make me.
Hey, now think about it. Like, what are some of the niches that we could go into?
Oh, I could name them.
Yeah, we could go into some niche saintery.
See, I'd like to be a saint of like professional wrestling knowledge, not necessarily professional wrestling, but professional wrestling knowledge. That would be really cool. Or like, a patron saint.
Check it out. You could, as part of you could wear that mitre hat, but you could have a belt.
Exactly, yes. Or like a patron saint, leather jackets. Yeah. I think that would be another great one I could be good at. Like, if I could really go after this, sign me up. Like, tell me what's the steps. That would be amazing.
I'm just going to keep going along because I think that we're getting some traction here. Saint Magnus against caterpillars and Saint Friard against the fear of wasps. I don't think it's actually wasps. I think it was the fear of wasps.
I need to find the saint and read about him because I definitely have a huge fear of wasps.
And here's an important one. Saint Barbara, anything that blows up. We're talking fireworks, artillery, lightning. Her father forced her to marry, but she refused. He beheaded her.
Oh.
And then soon after, he was struck by lightning and killed.
Oh. So it was her. She came back with a vengeance.
So apparently, gosh, I hate to, because you don't want to, well, I don't know. But Saint Germain cousin, girls from rural areas. He just does not cover a broad spectrum.
Right. It's just women from rural areas.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
So the name's got to be like Barbara Sue or something like that. Or
and you have to live in a town probably 5,000 people or less.
Okay.
If you start to go over, there may be another guy.
And what was the name of this? Saint Barbara?
This is, where was it? Saint Germain cousin.
Oh my goodness. So any lady that's from a town of 5,000 or less, they're like, praise Saint Germain cousin.
That is your here's one that's Saint Columbanus. I think I'm saying it right. Patron saint of motorcycles.
Oh, that's cool. I want to get to know him.
Well, I would think so. I don't know when were motorcycles come on the scene, probably
1900s.
Yeah. So he's pretty recent guy.
Yeah, probably pretty cool too. Is there one for tattoos?
I don't think I have a tattoo. Saint Theodore of Sychian. Theodore of Sychian. And he's got like a double-edged thing here. It's either for rain if you don't have it, or against rain if you're getting too much.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he has to balance it out for you.
He has a balancing rain thing.
Guy.
Because I think if you're in some areas, and what if you're like praying for rain and then somebody's like, hey, stop it. Turn that thing around.
They're like, by the power of Saint, what's his name?
Yeah, he's got where was it? Theodore of Sychian.
Sychian.
Yeah. And where would you know this? But Saint Malo, Malo, of pig keepers. So, but I think this is an important one. I think as you process it down a little bit, is he in charge of bacon?
Now, if he is in charge of bacon, could he be one of the greatest saints of all time?
I think he might be, because bacon is awesome.
I actually really, my love for bacon has really grown since marrying my wife.
Really?
She loves bacon. Like, loves it.
Now, here's the thing. Like, how do you cook it? Because, like, if you cook it in the pan, which is the best, it's kind of a mess. And then I cook it in the microwave, which is kind of cool, but it's not
She does it in the oven.
In the oven?
And so it comes out really, really crispy, but not burnt.
Okay.
So it's really nice. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to like cook the whole pound, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I hate when I go to like some place and they're like, you order bacon and it's these two like paper thin strips of bacon. Right. I'm like, what am I going to do with that?
Exactly. And you just charged me $4.99 for this?
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Have you ever had Millionaire's bacon?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh, Dave. There's a few restaurants in Charlotte that do this. Millionaire's bacon. It's crispy bacon, but it's coated in like this, it's like candied almost. And so it's sweet and bacony. Oh my goodness. So they call it Millionaire's bacon.
Millionaire's bacon. Is this a Southern thing? Because we didn't have it up north.
Yes, it's a Southern thing. And it's so good. It's usually served with deviled eggs.
Really? Millionaire's bacon and deviled eggs. I swear I've lived this earth half of a century and I've not heard of that.
I know exactly where to take you. It's so good.
All right. Well, we're going to go out and hopefully we're not making you guys too hungry about this stuff, but this is where you learn stuff on the Drive Time with David and Dave show.
Right.
So I got plenty more saints to go over, but let's think of some people that we know.
Yep.
And what could they be patron saints
I'll
of?
name one right now.
Okay.
Rick Joyner, the saint of fishermen's vests. That man is the saint of, I've never seen a man who has so many different fisherman's vests and wears them with anything.
And have you noticed, like, listen, this is obviously, ladies and gentlemen, our very last podcast from Studio 8 at Morningstar. Right. So we'll be signing out with this. Yeah. But he pulls crazy stuff out of it, like Bibles and different stuff.
I'm like, oh man, you know what? I could really use like a Sharpie and some whiteout. He's like, oh, hold on one second. Opens like the one all the way on the right corner. He's like, I got some whiteout here, a Sharpie right here. Yeah, that's great. There's so many pockets.
Yeah. And I think it's obviously like he's not a slave to fashion. Let's do that. So Rick would be the patron saint of, I would say, I like Ricky Skaggs, the patron saint of Southern phrases.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He's got the best Southern phrases I've ever heard in my life. So the other day is cold out. I was helping him take something to his car. Ricky Skaggs, like 20 bazillion Grammys he's won, and just, and he goes, it's so cold out. I saw a hound dog having to jumpstart a rabbit.
That sounds like Ricky.
That is cold.
Yeah, yeah.
And I talked to his kids one time, and they're like, "Man, we should write him down. He's got 1 million of them."
Oh yeah.
What would we do for Bobby Connor? What could he be the patron saint of?
I mean, crazy stories. He could be the patron saint of crazy stories. He could be the patron saint of talking fast.
If it's crazy stories, could he encompass memes?
Yeah.
Like the patron saint of memes, like one-liner Christian memes. I could
definitely see that. I mean, but that would be between him and Ray Hughes.
Oh yeah.
Because Ray is also like really, really good at that kind of stuff. So that would be a tie. That would definitely be a tie.
I think Bill Johnson, I mean, what could he be the patron saint of?
Bill Johnson is the patron saint of inspirational one-liners. Like, you're like, how did you come up with this? Do you sit down? Is this spontaneous, or like it's just so good it's ridiculous? I'm like, do you have a team of writers? Tell me right now.
And he's got some kind of heavenly copyright, because I've actually tried to steal his one-liners and use them in my sermons, and they don't work.
You're like, you try to talk and your voice just stops,
And people are like, I always do like this voice. What's he doing up there, honey? Yeah. I don't know. Just smile. Exactly. Don't make him come off the stage and start praying for us individually. Just smile. Right. He'll think, so, you try to steal. So he must have like a heavenly copyright on that stuff.
I'm sure he does. And it might be so much so that even when you try to do it, you get like bleeped out, like from heaven. Like all of a sudden it's like, bleep. You're like, copyright, Bill Johnson.
an inspirational thought.
Yeah,
I think, all right, so if you're saying, back in the day, like maybe you're in an area where there's just like a ton of rabies going on.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't, I've seen areas like in the